Once again, welcome Jon Rothstein. The resume continues. No. College basketball
insider.
insider.
Catch up to you, Bill.
What's that?
Trying to catch up to you.
No, I have one employer. You have a bunch. College basketball insider for CBS Sports and Sports Illustrated, and also the host of the College Hoops Today podcast via Compass Media.
There we go.
Got it right this time.
We're batting 500.
And you are recently engaged. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's right.
Super exciting. I was like, there's no ring. Oh, duh.
No,
She has a ring. Believe me, she has a ring.
have we set a date?
We're looking at summer 2020, but, you know, this is a basketball show, so I don't want to get into too much full court pressure.
Right, what are we doing here?
I don't know. It's never too late to back out. Nah, just kidding.
RJ,
Oh, my gosh. Moving on. R.J. Hampton, Jon.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding around. You know that.
No, it's all good. You can take it.
R.J. Hampton, let's go. You ready?
R.J.
Here we
Hampton
go.
bypassing college to play in New Zealand. What does this mean overall for the college game?
I think we jump to conclusions when we see one player make a decision like this. And these are the facts right now, and we just need to embrace them. Blue chip prospects, five-star prospects, do not want to be in college basketball.
Flat out, period?
Flat out. I mean,
See, Jon,
Zion liked it.
For 1 year. But what I'm saying is the goal of somebody who has a chance to benefit monetarily from basketball is to start their professional clock as early as possible. And look, you know, I've talked to a lot of coaches about this, and, you know, I talked to Jay Wright about this last season. If there are kids who want to go out of high school and be a professional and not be a college student, they should have the right to be in the NBA or be in the G League. And the talent base may be watered down somewhat in college basketball, but the game overall is not going to suffer. I mean, think about the teams that we saw in the Final Four. When you think about freshmen who had a major impact, Virginia had Kihei Clark, Michigan State had Aaron Henry, Texas Tech had Kyler Edwards. I mean, there weren't a great deal of freshmen. Auburn didn't really have one in their rotation that made a major impact. So I think our talent pool in the sport may be drained a little bit if we see the rules change, but the sport as a whole is going to be fine.
So most kids won't have the same family structure, perhaps, as R.J. Hampton.
Absolutely.
His family's going with him. To me, this doesn't necessarily become the norm, though. I understand that blue chip athletes don't want to do it, but not everybody's going to be in a position. Will you see more of the Darius Baisley type deal where we take a year off and just kind of work it out?
A wise man once told me never to speculate on speculation.
Okay.
So I'm not going to speculate on
That's your business. What do you mean?
I'm not going to speculate
You're
on
an
speculation. Insiders, we inform and we give our opinions. We're not going to speculate. But I do think this. One thing we have to be mindful of is obviously rule changes. Another thing you have to be mindful of is that these players are always thinking about one thing, and that's getting themselves in the best state to be a professional. Now, this isn't something I think that a lot of people are concerned with, but it's something as you look at the bigger picture, and you guys can both relate to this because you played at the highest level, but when has education been valued less among aspiring athletes as it is right now? We have people passing up the opportunity to finish up their degree at world-class institutions. There are three young men, Chris Wilkes, Jalen Hands, and Moses Brown, who left UCLA early, and there's a strong chance that on June 20th, all three will not be drafted. There's another young man, KZ Agpala, who had a great statistical year at Stanford, but left a chance to finish Stanford with a degree because it was more important to him to be a first-round pick in the 2019 NBA draft. These are the times that we're in right now in our society.
I like Chris Wilkes. I hope he gets a shot. Do you think the NCAA, considering allowing kids to benefit off of their likeness, will change that? Because now you got a chance to stay in school and make some money.
I think we're closer to that than we've ever been, but again, don't want to speculate on speculation.
All right.
It's never going to be the way it should be. I mean, they owe so much money to the
Players
that's a whole nother.
Players have a different perspective. Yeah, I can give you another journalist perspective. Yeah.
All right, talking about some programs now. Seton Hall, what do you see with them going forward, and a secret weapon, perhaps?
Yeah, the secret weapon is Florida State transfer Ike Obiagu. He was integral in Florida State's run to the Sweet 16 and then the Elite Eight 2 years ago when it came up just short against Michigan. Ike Obiagu 2 years ago at Florida State blocked 71 shots as a freshman. No player on Seton Hall last year blocked more than 41. And there's never been a better time to be a Seton Hall season ticket holder because in November and December, they are going to have Michigan State and Maryland coming to play in Newark. Michigan State is going to be as part of the Gavitt games. Maryland is the back end of a home-and-home series. When I submit my preseason top 25 to the Associated Press, Michigan State will be 1, Maryland will be 6 on my ballot.
How about Dan Hurley at UConn?
Dan Hurley at UConn trending upward. I think UConn fans should be a little bit more patient, which isn't always in their vocabulary. I see year 3 as being the year that things really get turned at UConn because of the strength of the American Conference from top to bottom. Memphis has a great recruiting class, strong returning nucleuses. Obviously, it's South Florida and Wichita State and Temple and Cincinnati retooling under John Brannon, who's my guest on the podcast this week. Bill,
All right.
I'll make a plug.
There you go.
Yeah.
New York area team, St. John's, new head coach. What are you thinking there?
Mike Anderson's done a great job at retaining the roster at St. John's, and obviously I think there's several players on that roster that could flourish in his style of play. L.J. Figueroa and Mustafa Heron. The million-dollar question for St. John's is who's going to assume the primary ball handling responsibilities, because they lost Justin Simon, they lost Shamari Pons, and I think a big thing too that we need to take into consideration. St. John's was 3-1 last year against Marquette and Villanova, found a way to get into the NCAA tournament, but the Big East is headed for a massive bounce-back season. Georgetown will be in my top 25.
Heard that, John? You heard that?
Villanova is a top 10
That's not the
team.
real Big East,
Seton Hall is a
though.
top 15
Where's the Cuse?
team.
It's not the real Big East.
Syracuse is not in the top 10.
You heard that, John? You heard that, John?
Doesn't matter where we start. It's where you
There you
end.
go.
That's
now,
true.
we began the segment mentioning congratulations on your recent engagement.
Yeah.
But that said, you also have a list of the top places to go out and get cocktails, which
Well, balance is
Now,
important, Bill.
is
You know,
your
it can't just,
Where is this segment going?
is your fiance aware that you are a tremendous connoisseur of the nightlife here? What are your...
I mean, that was one of the first topics on our first date. The problem is, though, some of the places that I'm going to list right now, I mean, we found out 2 drinks is what, John got paid for his rookie year in the Knicks in 96, 97. So, you know what I mean? If you want to play, you got to pay.
So give us a list. Give us a couple places.
Well, I would definitely start out at the Mark on the Upper East Side, 77th and Madison. The pro on that is they give you some free bar snacks, so, you can obviously nosh a little bit if you want. Jimmy at the James Hotel, but again, John, that's the place that, it's a little pricey. I don't think Coach Boeheim will be putting his card down in a spot like that.
What's
Then
the vodka at these places? Like $20?
I would say 19 without tip. And then I would go SDK Rooftop just because I was there on Saturday.
I love STK.
All right. You're
I do
familiar
love
with that?
STK. There's one in D.C.
That's why I just
You're
drink
going to
water.
take us out after the show tonight or what?
What?
You're going to take us out after
Just send me a text. My phone's always on. You don't get a chance to sleep when you're an insider. And when it's March, you're afraid to go in the shower.
I imagine so.
Thank you so much. We look forward
you guys
to seeing you
soon.
again. For more great videos from the MSG 150, check out right there. And remember, our show is on Monday through Thursday, 8 to 10:30 p.m. on MSG Network and MSG Go.